How everybody doing? It's Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. I apologize for the interruption. I gotta find out how to do my phone, program my phone, whatever way you want to put it, so I don't get disconnected when I get calls. But I'm basically gonna start all over from the top. I can't do that part one, part two, I apologize. One day is gonna be real technological, like Tremel got it, like a studio or something. I might go to a studio or something, so I can put things at the bottom, some special effects. There's a lot of things I want to convey, but I don't know. I'm a Luddite, as they call it. I'm not technologically sound, but I have to. So I'm gonna have my daughter and my son set me up. So I apologize for being disconnected, for getting disconnected out of this service interruption. Technical problem, but not technical. It's me. I'm the problem. And I was talking about yesterday, Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. What's going on, brother? Let me introduce myself again. Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. We was cut off. I'm back. I apologize. So what I was talking about yesterday I saw the press conference with MTA President Richard Davies, with Chairman Lieber, with Mayor Adams, the Chancellor of School, NYPD Police Chief, I forget his name. And they're talking about this new program they have, this campaign. And they said they're working with Facebook and Instagram and Google. So they're going to help them on their side. They're not going to put tapes, show videos of people, of these kids when they fall off the train. And like I said before I go into the press conference, my kids, I've done some silly things. What I used to do when I was young in 40 projects, I would ride on the elevator shaft. I could have got my head chopped off or something. I could have fell 7 stories. It was a 7-story building. So there was a lot of stupid things I know I used to do. Sometimes I was very fortunate. Jehovah watched over me, and my Lord and Savior, they watched over me. But we all have done very stupid things. I understand. You go in these crew rooms, right? Our brothers and sisters have no tolerance for the passengers that do things that are what they would deem stupid, or things that people nonsensical. But for me, I understand when I was young, the dumb things I used to do. I agree with Mayor Adams about that. The dumb things that we used to do. And but like I was saying too, if somebody called me and told me they saw my son on top of a train surfing, or some of his friends who hang with him on top of a train surfing, back in the days, like your neighbor on my block, there was a lot of people, if they said something to you, you had to shut up and take it. It's like the older kids used to punch you in the chest and all that. You had to take it. You wouldn't dare say nothing to an adult, and you dare not cry when one of the older kids would bang you up. So if I caught my kid on top of a train, if they told me, if I find out, I would break him up. I would break him up like my mother used to break me up. She used to have me bend over. If I was 10, I got 10 with extension cord. My mother used to take the thing from the washing machine and be whatever she could get her hands on. And like I was saying before, I would go to school with my hands bleeding, bruises and all that. The teachers didn't care. Nobody was calling 911. Because back then, this was the choice. Either you get hurt out there, or either your parents was going to raise you, or you was going to jail. Or the streets. A lot of us got the streets. A lot of us went to the streets. But we had some morals. And that's when people say to me now, was it bad in the 80s? The 80s was bad. Yes, the 80s was bad. But the dudes in the street was bucking and ducking at each other. If there was drug wars, they was going there. Yes, innocent bystanders got killed, and they shouldn't have. And it was tragic. A lot of lost lives, always tragic to lose alive. But back then, everybody was going. And the thing about that, too, even the drug dealers made sure you didn't do nothing on the blocks. And they protected the citizens. They was doing wrong, but you couldn't go there and rob and maim on their blocks. There was some respect for older folks there. Now, this is the difference. It's random now. They don't care. They don't care if you're 70. It ain't how you doing, Miss Jones. It ain't yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. God bless you. You need help with that bag? And when I say bag, grocery bag. But the randomness and the blatant disrespect of no morals. We live in the age right now that it's a moral choice to pay your fare. They ain't that. You pay your fare. And you and the families, and I'm sorry. I see families recently, coming to this country, immigrants, Africans sometimes, all type of, and y'all bring your whole family on the bus and don't pay? Been here 10 minutes. And you watching everybody, this how you show teach your kids more, you gonna walk on the bus, your whole family walking on the bus without paying? Me, when I used to, even before I came to transit, I remember one day I didn't have no money. I sat there for a half hour. I wasn't going to jump. I ain't snuck on the train even before I was at transit since like 1978, 79. I just wasn't, the running from the cops on that, I wasn't doing that. But even, I could say before I came to transit, I don't know, I could have lost my Metro card. What happened? I had to get you asking someone for something. So as a man and woman, you don't have no. My mom was at a station. I had to walk up, ma'am. I ain't have no money. I lost money. She didn't let me in that time. I had to walk like 10 blocks to another station. The station didn't let me in, but the other one did. And I would if I didn't have my money for the bus, I would, be so respectful. Sir, can I get on the bus? I lost this and that. He says no respect. We live in a society where I don't know. I never wanted to be that person that said this generation was better than this generation. Every generation bring their strengths. But there's no respect out. That's the difference between the 80s and possibly the 90s. Yes, there was crime. Yes, there was burglaries and robberies and all that. But it wasn't for people who live in working class families. 2-parent households and they're robbing people. And I don't know how it got that way. I don't. I sit behind the bus, in the back of the bus, and I talk to the kids. I try to talk to the kids. I don't know what happened. But we're in the bad way right now. And that bad way trickles down to us at the MTA. But I'm going off in this tangent. Let me go back to the Ride and Stay Alive press conference. Oh, Ride Inside and Stay Alive. So they got this campaign for the kids surfing. They got kids from art and design, good school. They was good kids. Put a campaign together in conjunction with Subway and Board of Education, in conjunction with the Subway and the mayor's office and what have you. But again, they didn't ask any of us. These crews, have to call in these kids. These crews find these injured kids when they fall off the trains. These crews are always the first line of defense and know what's going on, what type of kid, who the kids. They said they're concentrating on 7 line. But of course, they didn't ask any of us. Of course, they didn't get our input, right? And these kids, you asking kids to do a campaign who don't ride on top of the trains. And this is where transit, I keep saying that they out of touch. And let me show you how they're out of touch. You know the smoking campaign? Like one thing when they got people to stop smoking, like this campaign is like Nancy Reagan, say no to drugs. Just say no. Which did nothing. That did nothing. That campaign, don't use drugs, didn't do nothing in the 80s. Nothing. So this campaign, where they making a mistake is, they do cigarettes campaign and it wouldn't be, I lost my voice. They got the voice boxes. They had to cut out the throat and all that because they got, I don't mean the part of the body, I forget, the larynx, whatever, the esophagus, whatever, and they lose their voice, they got to use the box. Actually, it happened to my grandfather. He was smoking like 4 packs of Marlboro for years. So that had impact because people were saying, I don't want to end up like that. And then they would have that lung. This is a lung. This is someone who smoked, and this is someone that didn't smoke. And the smoke lung, the lung of someone who smoked, was black and holes and decrepit and deteriorate. And then you had the other lung was healthy, like a piece of like steak, a lung, a fresh lung. And now they even got ads right now where I saw one yesterday, a woman had half her foot cut off, amputated. And she said she was a smoker. Those are impactful. What you need to do is have that kid, that man they interviewed, who was blind, who was surfing and the pillar hit him. And he's walking with he got a cane and is injured and he can't work. He's finished. I'm not saying finished, but he's badly diminished physically. And he was being interviewed a few years ago last year by CBS. Flash a picture of a puddle of blood or something. And in addition, lock them up. Lock them up. These laws, like, they have so much sympathy. You want to save lives? Why did you put seatbelt laws? Because so many people was flying through windshields. And when we ride without a seatbelt, we get slugged, right? We get tickets. There's a consequence to that. Show that. You got a bunch of good kids saying, ride inside, stay alive. That has no impact on these badass kids. And even if they ain't bad, just bad kids. These adventurous kids. These kids being kids. They come with this G-rated campaign and think that's going to stop them from riding on top of the trains. They're delusional. And this is what I'm talking about. They so out of touch, it ain't funny. These politicians are pathetic. They're doing everything in their power to push a lifelong Democrat against them, these politicians. They ain't worth 2 cents. They have as much to do with this city's demise as the criminals they sell. And we all in trouble. We in trouble. So I watched that campaign. That campaign was a joke. I guess Adams and them is a noble effort. But they don't know what's going on. First of all, because they don't consult with us. First of all, they don't talk to the people who's on the ground. I agree with you, Craig. Yeah, we all responsible. Got no Ice Cube we don't have no options. We married to the Democrat. But listen, I'm not going to get to that. I'm not talking politics. One day we do a political thing. It's all politics. But this is more about Richard Davey in transit. So today, they had the town hall. And if you're going to have a town hall, have a real town hall. Don't have that 10:30. If you AMs, you're still at work. If it's your RDO, you still got some running around to do, doctor's appointments, things around the house, washing your uniform, whatever. So you want to have a real town hall, get a town hall. Rent a building. Go somewhere. Get a venue. Go somewhere. And do it like 6 o'clock in the evening. Like they do PTA meetings. Do a real town hall. So you can catch AMs. You might catch evenings before they go to work, midnights before they go to work. You might still catch midnights because they might have went to sleep and got back up just to attend the town hall. So you get AMs about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Everybody's getting off. If you want a real town hall. Now, I watched the town hall with Richie Davies, Kreslow's, someone from Buses, Para. I didn't know their names. I should have took their names down. So Richie Davis and Dimitri Kreslow, that's why I was intensely watching. But that was no real town hall because I got on Zoom. I thought I was going to I remember last time I did Zoom with Feinstein. I got through. Push the thing, wave your hand. They wanted questions. So they was actually censoring the whole, if you was on Zoom, they were censoring you in a way. Now, Zoom was invented to have teleconferences where you see people and you communicate with them. Zoom wasn't invented for you to submit your question. That's an email. Zoom wasn't invented to submit the question. So if it's a question like I was going to ask, they can censor it. So the town hall was disingenuous, but it was very enlightening. And one thing I learned about Richie Davey is that I think he's very honest in a way. Because he's very diplomatic. He knows how to handle himself in these situations. But he almost can't help himself. He tells the truth. He tells it in a real finesseful way. But Byford was charismatic. He knew how to, he never offended you. he was measured in what he said and didn't say. It was different with him. He could have been the devil incarnated, but he knew how to deal with people. Avil, he was Train Daddy, his nickname, was blessed with his ability to communicate. And he wasn't condescending. He had no air about him. I remember he came to 2 Broadway and addressed the folks being disciplined. And he said, he had a famous email, he really was on that. He wasn't big with the discipline. And he came to 2 Broadway, and a lot of the folks 2 Broadway was depressed, think they was getting fired. They was facing termination. And this was management who came down there. The president, and addressed everyone. He was a real gentleman. And Davey is, he's a railroad guy. He's a politician. He's definitely a politician. But he was asked, there were some questions asked of him. One, the question, an Indian brother from CD. And he basically said, what is the process for folks seeking promotion and being promoted? He said, because the people that yes, he's a numbers guy, yet people who you've promoted, these are some of the worst supervisors I've ever seen in my life. And I knew them before they were supervisors, who have gotten in trouble and gotten in situations. And you do nothing. One of them said he was caught. One of them said one supervisor was caught on their phone and Creslow caught him. And he eventually went on to be a supervisor. And the brother said, who are these people? You're supposed to get the best and the brightest. You talk about our morale, I'm paraphrasing. You talk about our morale. But how will we have good morale when we see you in real time hiring people who are incompetent and incapable? And Davies wound up answering that. Creslow didn't stand up and said, I remember that. And when was this? None of that. Richard Davey addressed it. And that was one of the questions. Then we had a sister from RTO who said that I'm being sexually harassed. And I've been sexually harassed. And her name was Nicole Williams. Sis, get in contact with Tremel, Progressive Action, so we can expound on your experience. So we can out this supervisor. She said, I'm quoting, it's not paraphrasing, that this supervisor makes her life a living hell. And she likes her job. And she also went on what we all know, that EEO here at Transit is only here to make sure that Transit is not sued because of Transit's liability, to make sure that Transit is not liable, to protect Transit. That's what EEO at New York City Transit on the 3rd floor at 1/3 Lifton exists for. To protect management. That's why they're here. We have our sisters being sexually harassed, verbally abused, tormented, and there's nowhere for them to go. But we're going to get them, trust me. Sunday or the next, I'm going to show you how we can get them. And Tremel expound on what's going on with Transit when he speaks to you. So it's a damn shame when you think about it. And she also said SAR, Special Investigation and Review. They will hide in the mailbox if you're doing dual employment. They dress up in McDonald's uniform at your neighborhood McDonald's if they think you're comp fraud. If they suspect anything, they do what they do. Got the best camera. They will use every resource they have to get you terminated. This is the company that we work for. But Special Investigation and Review, when Tremel went there about Hensky and had evidence against him, they did nothing but re-instruction. So that was real pronounced there. That Transit does nothing for these employees, but these employees, in my opinion, supervisors, are human rights abuses. That they're breaking the law. And Transit is breaking the law by not only turning the blind eye, they promote these people. Somebody's interviewing them and saying they fit, and I'm telling you from the union, there's some great superintendents that care about us, who remember where they come from, who relate to us, who still attend functions, who care about them. I've seen them at rallies. And then you'll be surprised at even 1 or 2 at system safety, who remember where they came from. I didn't say all of them. There's some creeps at system safety. One in particular. There's some creeps up there too. But you can't pay. There are some people who remember operating. Remember being pushed out. Remember everything. Remember, vividly remember, and relate to everything we go through on a daily basis. There's a bunch of new ones. TSS, but some great TSSs. Great ATDs, great dispatchers, great superintendents. But that being said, it seemed to me, in my experience, and the ones I interacted with, the ones I spoke with, and sis, let me tell you something, sis, at Coney Island, what you tried to do to sis, we was waiting for you to do that. You know what you did, took sis out of service for nothing. We had the lawyers, we was waiting for you to do that. Transit would have made the front pages for what y'all attempted, what y'all did. Superintendent, you know who I'm talking about. And General Soup, you know who I'm talking about. We was waiting. And trust me, I was telling somebody, I might not be here at Transit. But I'm going to have my campaign. I'm never going to stop what I'm doing. You're my mission in life, Transit. The way you treat folks. The antiquated way you treat. Yes, I believe that this is, if it ain't modern day indentured servitude, it's slavery then. Y'all come up with something. Y'all give a name to this, what goes on at this god-awful company. So sis pointed out, she's very eloquent and passionate about how she was feeling and what was going on with her. And Richard Davey said, let's talk. He's right. You can't talk about EO. Let's talk. But it's a damn shame that sis got to go to a town hall and there's no superintendent, general soup, no ACTO, no union rep who won't let this go. That she got to go to a fake town hall, really, and tell the president of Transit that she's being sexually harassed and nobody's doing nothing, and it's been going on for years. She had to talk to the president. There's no lay. They ain't even a bureaucracy. There's no one there for her to talk to about being sexually harassed. You pervert. And this is going on with a lot of our sisters. But there's record. This can't go on. You can't sexually harass people. You can't threaten people. You can't constantly try to cut their times because they're advocating for themselves. There's a lot of things I'm not even mentioning about transit, but I want to see that. Listen, the New York Post, I got a subscription with the Boston Globe, Washington Post, New York Times. There's certain, when I do a drive-by, you look at the Post, sometimes the Post, but I tell you this about the Post. The Post don't like transit. The Daily News protects, they don't come at transit. They protect the union, because Donnie, who comes from there. I remember I was going to be interviewed on something. Eric Legal, the guy I knew Eric, they shut it down. The press is that they shut down. I was talking to the news, NBC, and they called NBC, and somebody saw the clip on the news, then they killed it. Didn't see it again. So the Gothamist is sympathetic to the union. They did that fluff piece on Yates doing the contract. I like Yates. But the New York Times is there to protect transit. Lieber is elite. He has roots in this city. The New York Times will really say anything about transit. And Daily News is more sympathetic to union. They really don't. But the Post don't like transit. I'm not saying the Post like us and like the union. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The Post has always covered things with me that I said about transit. So yes, I have the Post ain't exactly a pinnacle of journalism integrity. But they do get at transit. And there are going to be some people transit. Yeah, the day's coming. They embarrassed us enough. That day's coming. Trust me on that. Whether I'm here or not, it don't make a difference. Because I'm not going to stop. I'm ready to spend my own money. I'm ready to do whatever I need to do. Because what they do around here is wrong. The way they treat us is despicable. And Sis is a prime example of that. Not only Sis is a prime example of that. Let me get back to that press conference. To stay inside and live. Right? Come inside and live, the campaign. Let me see. I don't want to butcher that. The campaign about to serve. Ride inside and stay alive. There was no press conference by transit when our brother, or the union, when he got bashed in the face a week ago, when he was violently attacked cleaning out their train. Where was the press conference for that? Where's the press conference and what you going to do to make sure that we're safe? Where's our press conference? That's what was curious to me. This press conference, and I guess, is a noble gesture, but it's going to do nothing. What about our safety? Where's the press conference touting how they was trying to say the subways are safer? Where's the press conference about if you assault one of us, you're going to jail? What about that? Where's our press conference, our sis at Kingsbridge, where eerily similar to what happened with the 60-year-old woman at 116 in Lenox, where she was beat with a cane. And sis, your luck, good thing you was in the booth. And you was able to take that video, because he could have did that to you while you was giving him directions outside your booth. You could have been busted in the head. You could have been seriously hurt. You could have been in the hospital right now. But where's the press conference for us? Our safety. Everything that's going on in this god-awful, unsafe city. Where's the press conference about that? Where's the press conference about the 2 officers? Where are their charges? Where's their suspension? When our sister was assaulted at Kingsbridge on the D, kicked in the door, tried to choke her, snatched the keys, was caught but apprehended by the cops. And the cops practically said, he didn't do nothing, that's your lover. They practically accused him of being lovers. And sis saying, he assaulted me. This is a city employee, a state employee, who had this culprit, had state property. And y'all let him go. Our uniform meant nothing. Where's the union's commentary on that? Where's the press conference on that? That you caught the man who assaulted our sister and you let him go. Didn't give him so much as a ticket. How much more disrespectful can they have been for what we do? And to our sister. Where was the press conference on that? Not the Union Hall. Where was the protest on that? Why was we outside City Hall? Are the precinct commanders outside of that? Why didn't we demand them officers show themselves, demand proof? What happened to them officers? Are they suspended? What's going on with them officers who was derelict in their duty? And they did the same thing with the older women too. They caught the guy. Our sister at that station had the video and they let the guy walk. And they played dirty with sis. Oh, you both can get arrested. Yo, but you know how they do now since OJ? It ain't happened with me. You get in a situation, possibly disagreement with your girlfriend, your wife, whatever. It gets to the point where they call 911, they come to the house, they going to say, one, y'all got to go. We're going to give you a break. They used to be, okay, lovers quarrel, we leave and y'all work this out. Don't call us again. Now is they come to your house. One, y'all got to go. You going, sis, or your husband's going? The wife, the husband, the boyfriend, girlfriend, one, y'all going. Who's going? That's how they do now. You going to do that with this woman after she got beat? You see the evidence that she was beat and assaulted? And you going to tell her, listen, either you don't press charges and we pursue this, both y'all going to get arrested. Now that can happen. The state can pick up the charges. But that wasn't warranted in this instance. And it's the exact same thing that these officers did to our sister at Kingsbridge. I don't want to inject race, but they both black women. There was proof that they was robbed and assaulted. This woman was beat down and you did nothing. And that could have been one of us. I will give the police the benefit of the doubt, race had nothing to do with it. But somebody, they not doing their jobs. They're not doing what they supposed to be doing. That could have been anybody getting beat. What, they don't want to, they don't want to put them in the police car? What, they want, where they're ready to go home? They ain't feel like filling out the paperwork? These are questions that I shouldn't have to pose to you right now. This is something our union should be on. They're not forward thinkers at this union. What do they care about? What's important to this union? What is their priorities? What? And another thing that was interesting doing that, this is what I said about Davey. Somebody said basically that we didn't get a raise. We can't live off that raise we got. Right? Now that was something he should have took up with the union. I'm assuming our brother didn't voted no on the contract, but he said to Davey, we can't live off that. And Davey said earlier, this is what he said. This is a good paying job. He said you could buy a house. You could put your kids through school. He believes that. He making $350 a year, of course, with a bodyguard and possibly a per diem. They probably paying his rent. Of course he believes that. Of course he could buy any house he want in the city. Of course he can raise a family. Of course he can do anything he needs to do with the money he makes. But he said, we make good money here. Who could buy a house right now? Get a house right now. You get a fix me up. Go ahead. Still paying $600 minimum in New York. Go ahead. 7%. Yeah, 7% was a good rate in 1995. Was a decent rate. There used to be interest rates 13. But the gold standard was 6 or 5 back in the days. But we had 7. I don't know what they doing. I don't know what they doing with these interest rates. But right now, you got 20%. House for $700, you got to give them $140, 20% down. Then you got closing costs. It costs almost $200,000 to buy a decent house right now. And I ain't talking about the $4,500 you're going to have to pay in rent. And if you go on Long Island, them taxes going to kill you. So this man's saying that we make enough to buy a house. He don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. It goes back to that campaign. They don't have a clue. They don't talk to us. They don't care. They don't care. Their philosophy is feed them. You know that thing with women? I ain't going to talk about that. But that thing is to feed us. We get about that. I'll pick that up. 2 things I want to pick up. Maybe not next show, but we're going to pick it up. I'll get back to that. You don't know what I'm talking about. But we'll get back to that. But they don't have a clue. And then something else. The same brother somebody asked him about $1 a year? He's not making more. Yeah. If he's making 4, he's good. He making $350, he good, bro. $1 million, he could be. He get bonuses. We don't get bonuses. They get bonuses. And then he brought up, not only that, when he said to brother, I'm paraphrasing, well, we agreed to the contract. You good. Plus you getting a bonus. He think that $3,000 is money for us. It's not money for him. Because you could be sure, if he's making $350, and after that, he's getting about 30 bonus, easy. He's getting 30 bonus. If it's a bonus thing. Easy. He might be getting 50. But I guarantee you, if he make $350, he's getting 30 or plus. Guarantee you that. So he can't relate. They don't relate to us. They don't hire us no more. Like I said, you looked at Indeed and LinkedIn and all that. They hiring other folks. They're not hiring us. They have no relation with us. Let me tell you about labor relations. Kim Waltmore. Kim Waltmore runs labor relations. Now you had Ann Miller. But Kim Waltmore is gone. She watched so many of us get terminated. So many of us get death steps. She holds so many of our fates in her hand, and she's gone now. Now it's Ann Miller. And she will be gone one day. You got so many people at 2 Broadway who control our fates, who make decisions about our lives, who won't be here. And before you retire, there'll be 4, 5, 6 people who passed through here, who held our lives in their hand, and now they in Gristedes shopping. And we're in their rearview mirror. They controlled our lives and our destiny, and they're gone. That's how they feel about us. We are mud on their shoes. They know nothing about us. Except for they getting a bonus, be happy. And he said in that same conversation, Davey said, overtime is compensation. He said that, and to go watch it if you can't find it somewhere. He said your overtime is your compensation, part of your compensation. How dare him? We got to live, a lot of us are gonna, what's the consequences of working 6 days a week, 14 hours a day, for 15 years, 10 years? What's the consequences? What is that going to do to you? And you grabbing anything you can eat over that course. You might even bring lunch, a healthy lunch. But you wound up with Popeyes, Dunkin' Donuts, some chips, and the goddamn Pepsi. What's the consequences? They don't understand. And then we die. And then we leave here and we say to each other, yo, he just retired. She just retired. I just saw her. I was at her retirement party. They know nothing about us. They don't care about us. Am I lying? Union, am I lying? Officers, am I lying? Transit, am I? And you do, you soup, some of you soup. TSS, am I lying? They don't know about us. If they knew about us, cared about us, they went back to what Sis was saying and what our Indian brother was saying. They interviewed these people. They wouldn't make them. I'm telling you, they make the worst people the supervisors. The good ones language as deputy soups or whatever, or TDs or whatever. They pick the worst ones. And you know why? They don't care. That railroad's on time. What happened to, what's his name? Costanza. That lunatic. What they do to him? I never followed up. What did they do to him? And like Sis says, supervisors out here making their lives a little hell. But you know what? They know it. The actors know it. The genuine soups. And like, I won't even mention Tawala. When I say genuine soups, I'm talking about the good ones. I'm talking about the ones that care. He's wicked. Yeah, I said it. Take me to court for slander. Because I will bring proof with me to court that you're wicked. And these are the people that they promote. That make our life. Yes, we die prematurely. But you know the thing about before we die? Before we die, we're broken before we die. Before we die, we got knots in our stomach. Before we die, we're miserable here. And you tried to convince us that everything's good. Let's get back to the congestion pricing. So our brother asked about that, the congestion pricing. Now, you're talking about transit that's going to have a whole new source of revenue. Revenue that they don't make a difference. If it's 1 million, if it's 2 million, if it's 250,000. When they charge folks to come off their bread, they got a whole new revenue stream. And the union couldn't get us easy passes. They couldn't get us passes to come across the bridges. They get new money coming in. And we can't get nothing out that. He said, this is what Davey said, we talked to the union about that. He says, he implied, I didn't say, my implication, well, Samson on the board, maybe he could bring it up again. We talked about that. And he said, y'all got passes, 24-hour passes. Y'all not getting nothing. We don't care how much money we get from the revenue. Y'all not getting easy pass. Use your passes. That's what I'm saying about Davey. He say it in a way, but he's honest. He said, if I was a translator, if it was some subtitles across the screen, y'all not getting nothing. Y'all got passes. We spoke to the union about that. Y'all not getting nothing. And again, we got nothing in this contract. How dare them? Some companies got sharing. They share everything that comes in. Profit sharing. Athletes who got $40, $50 million contracts. They get broken off when they show their t-shirts and their hats. Merchandise. They get a new revenue stream and we get nothing from that? What, $4? For $4 from the dental, $2 million is I would have rather them took that $2 million and retained the law firm for us, for divorces and criminal cases. That's what other unions do. Criminal situations, criminal cases and divorce. We don't get locked up enough. We don't get locked up at all. I don't say enough. I'm sorry. We don't get locked up a lot. Nothing happen like that. Those are rarities. Things happen. Divorce happens a lot more than we get arrested for crimes or situations that we allegedly are guilt, innocent before guilt, are crimes that are alleged. So should have got us that $2 million, got us a law firm and put them on retainers when we needed them. That would have been that $4, that $48 a year that, like I said, can't even buy us dental floss and toothpaste for a year. That was nothing. And like I said, they was touting it like it was new innovations in dental care. Like they was touting the man's care. That's what they do. But Davey said we ain't getting overtime as compensation. He don't care if it's killing us. He don't care. Well, we can't get jobs outside the transit. Like I talked to my brother Usher the other day. He was saying like the dual employment. Transit said you can do anything in your spare time when you're off. You can work for us. You could go fishing. But you can't get no money. Some of us don't want to be on the trains to get that extra revenue. Some of us want to do what we want to do. Wherever that is. If we're building chairs, we want to sell our table and chairs. If we selling soap, if we doing real estate, if we fixing cars. Some of us want to earn money the way we want to earn money. Some of us don't want to expose ourselves to the toxic fumes 6 days a week. We got other ways of getting revenue, and you deny that from us. We can work 18 hours exhausted for and then we hit and think about this, and everybody know this. Most of the cases that come to Broadway is on your RDO. Anybody in the union will tell you that. 85-90% of discipline that's down there was one of us working on RDO. If it was a train operator, taking something to the yard. If it was a conductor, you was doing the extra trip. If you was a tower operator, you were working that extra day. I can't do that with flagging. They do 13. They do what they do in flagging. So when you work, even when you work for them doing that overtime, there's a risk of something going left with you. But they don't care about that. They don't care if you fit, went past 14 hours. They don't care about that. That's where we at with them. And this is what was said at this fake town hall. Wasn't really a town hall. Had some folks there, wasn't it? And they did, to everybody's credit, they asked good questions, and it wasn't really a warm reception. To their credit. Yes, they want to feed us crumbs. They are feeding us crumbs. They're starving us to death. That's what they do with the comp. They starve us to death with the comp and force you back to work. The inspectors at your house every day when you sick force you back to work. They pay you just enough. According to Richie Davey, you're making a ton of money here. And again, be grateful. You have a job. Be grateful you're here. Unemployment out there. Be grateful you're here. Some of you had prison records. Some of you was on welfare. Some of you was at your wit's end. Be grateful that you have a job. That's how they feel. This is by design. We can't afford to live in the city. That's by design. We live in hand to mouth, and if we not, we killing ourselves. But you should get what? So what? Eat, like Craig said, eat the crumbs. So what? So this was said at the at this town hall, and also Creslow was saying that like the union. He said food. He emphasized food. He said years ago it used to be a rodeo that they used to, everybody used to come and watch a rodeo. Somebody from buses, they had the buses, VP of buses. He said there is going to be a rodeo next month, in the next few weeks. So they trying to put events together, he said. The morale is important to them. So they're going to put some things together. And we want your attention. We want glad hands, shake hands. This is a good job. Food. He said it twice. Food's going to be there. So like the union, they feed you. some music, 1, 2 days, 10 days of cards, music, fun, prizes, and 240 days of hell working here. But that's what they do. They think so little of us that they can give functions and we'll be fine. Employee recognition shouldn't even been in the contract. You should always recognize. But it makes no difference if you say, I'm the employee of the month. If an incident happened and you trying to give me 20, 30, terminate me, what difference do it make? What difference do it make if you feed me, recognize me, feed and giving functions, and you got supervisors making my life a living hell? You got supervisors writing me up, sending me to Broadway. You got train operators who live with anxiety every day because they got so focused, and they got to be focused. But it's one thing to be focused. It's another thing to come to anxiety thinking that something might happen and I might lose my job. This is the environment that we work with. We're disciplined every day. That's what they do. No job, nowhere where you are disciplined every day. When you face the reality that you can be fired at any time. This is the environment that we work in. This is an environment with all they want to do. They don't want no dual employment. They don't got facilities for our women. They don't have mental health professionals around us. When we get to 12-9, when we see bodies split in half, or we see people sliced up, we have no recourse. You got man just trying to prod us to go back to work. This is the place we work at. And Davey and Creslo can say what they want. They have no regard for us. And this is what's going on. This was going to happen this year. This winter is crazy. I was doing research on men. They don't, with the mental health, they don't have the beds. Now, Hochul, what her new budget said, she was going to allot $1 billion for mental health. Her plan to. Her initiative. And even with that initiative, it basically came down to like 1,500 beds, 450 beds. Their thing is that they don't want people in institutions. They want people home, and they have people who follow up making sure they take their medication, they're doing the right thing. They don't want people in institutions. And the beds is like 30% less than it was in 2014. And the thing about it, too, what they ain't saying is nobody wants to do the job. They don't have no personnel. If they had the beds, even if they have the beds, they don't have the people to do the jobs because the people don't want to work in these facilities because the state ain't paying them no money. So where did that leave us? That leave you and your partners. That leave us walking through the system to our towers, the cleaners, and the station agents, CED, flaggers. That means us walking around among crazy folks. And they don't have nowhere to put them. So we charged in the jobs that we have. We charge in maintaining people. I wrote it down. I can't find it. But our job is to make sure our customers are safe. Make sure that we maintain the semblance of order on them trains. Right? Get them from point A to point B. The handle the homeless. They're not all crazy. To tell people who got nowhere to live, who this is where they sleep, this is to get off the trains. And then we got our job is also to corral the mentally ill. People who see you, sometimes they see delusions, you got horns on. You look like somebody that tormented them in their youth, their worst enemy. They seeing all these, they just don't even know where they are. And that's our jobs. When we're on buses and trains, sleeping platforms, in booths, outside our booths. To corral and maintain this whole city. That they put all that on us like we got social workers degrees. We got to deal with these crazy people. We got to deal with whole families who are homeless. That's our functions. In addition, we got to make sure that our passengers are safe. In addition, we got to worry about being disciplined for nothing. In addition to being around supervisors who disrespecting us. This is what they expect from us. And they got no respect for us if Richard Davey think that overtime is part of our compensation. If he believed that our families shouldn't have easy pass when we come to the city and the transit is going to make a ton of money and we don't get a piece of that pie. If they believe that we can afford to live in this to buy a house right now, they out their minds, but they are out of touch. They are delusional. They don't understand us. And we got a union that does nothing. Look around. Look around. You got the good officers there. They helpless. They helpless. Some of them want to get sent back to the road. They scared. They're used to their life now. They're used to taking lunch when they want. They're used to using clean bathrooms. They're used to working a bunch of them, high percent don't even pick up their phone. They used to going home early. They don't want to give up that life. They don't want no smoke. They don't want to stand up for themselves and say to union, you're wrong. What's going on here? Because the people who did are no longer released. And they know I'm telling the truth. The people working around union now, they know what I'm saying about this corrupt union is the truth. And they shocked. They shocked. Like I was shocked. But I was never scared. They scared of going back to that road now. I wouldn't talk like this to my kid. And people said, Drummond, stop talking like you ain't scared to get fired and all that. That ain't right. And if you shouldn't talk like that. I have to. Because there's no limit. You can't have no limits when you go and fight in power. I'm willing to risk that. But the thing is, I'm still going to fight if I'm gone. It ain't going to be like Drummond's gone and, he forgot about us. That's never going to happen. Because we need change here. We got to have some change here. We can't go on like this. If you saw that town hall, you would know that Davey don't really have a clue. He's a masterful orator. But he don't care about us. Only people that care about us, who understand us, is us. That's a fact. That's a fact. He literally said that you should be proud no matter, and watch it. I'm paraphrasing, but those who watch know I'm telling you, he literally says something along the lines like, no matter what's going on with supervisors and the job, whatever your complaint, you move New York, you should be proud of it. He says, when my friends ask me what I do, I say, I move New York. You didn't say that you make 4 figures. You didn't say they provide you a nice house, a chauffeur, and a bodyguard. You didn't say that, right? They're delusional, and they don't care. And winter's coming. I think with the asylum seekers. And where these guys getting I almost got in an accident with a scooter. Where they getting these scooters? Will somebody just drop the parachute with scooters? I almost hit a dude today. I'm just saying, been here 5 minutes. Where did you get the scooters? This city is crazy, and you know who's going to bear the brunt of it? Us. Us. Winter's coming. It's going to be a cold one. It's going to be a harsh one. We're going to have more people on train. Because, this is what I meant to say. If Hochul got $1 billion for mental health, and she only allotted like $150 million with the mental health, who they don't have workers, they say it's going to cost $10 billion with the asylum seekers. So we still ain't going to get that money. That money allotted for mental health and other issues, housing, no. That's out the window. That's going to the asylum seekers. This budget is all mixed up. Now, they say $10 billion between now and the next 18 months. So listen, there's going to be more crazy folks on train. They letting folks out. It's a revolving door. You know what you got to do to get arrested these days? To stay in jail. And nobody knows the law better than the criminals. So we got problems. But Trey's going to get there. We got to come together. We got the people now. I'm going to try to put Tremel and Evangeline together. We got the people. We got Craig. We got people. We got the troops now. All you got to do is vote. Not only all you got to do, start getting involved. Start stepping up. Come together. That's what we got to do. All around this country, these unions, forget the unions, the members are pushing the unions to do the right thing. And you e-board members, not all of y'all. But think about what y'all doing. People voted y'all to advocate, speak up for them. The e-board, just like Congress, is to keep the president in check. Nobody can have unlimited power. And y'all supposed to represent us. People voted for y'all this last election and thought that there was going to be some checks and balances. And Stan United threw some money your way, release time, whatever, and you went to the other side, the dark side. Please, man, think about what you're doing. People believed in you. Come on. Listen, I got nothing else to say. I'm trying to think of something. I can't stretch this out. Listen, everybody be safe. We got to come together. We are. Transit, the hierarchy of transit, y'all going to be embarrassed. You supervisors, we're coming for y'all. Y'all going to be embarrassed. Y'all not going to stop me. Y'all not going to stop progressive action. Y'all tried to stop Tramel. It ain't happening. Y'all just gave him more resolve. What you think gonna happen? What y'all did to him? What was he gonna think? Two things happen when something like that happens. You stay home, you walk away, or you come back bigger, stronger, more strategic, angrier, but you channeling your anger. It ain't over. It ain't over. Like I said, the people in place. And we ready to fight. We ready to fight for our brothers and sisters. But we need some of y'all too. Y'all got to step up. Y'all got to come up, right? Them G2s, come to meetings. I'll be listen, it's September, right? Pay your dues. Check your dues. I see Kia put out the email. Evangeline, everybody telling you, everybody check your dues. If you want to run. Everybody's going to be at the meeting now. I'll be there. I'll be there. Everybody's going to be at the meetings. Everybody with intentions are going to be at the meeting. From September to September, you got to have 5 meetings. I got to get my 5 in. I'm getting my 5 in. But change is coming. I don't know when the CT meeting is, brother. CTA meeting stations. I think it's a whole different schedule than ours. I don't even think it's on Wednesday. But change is coming. It got to come. Nothing goes on forever. Nothing. Change is inevitable, and change is coming for transit. We got to stick together. We got to stay together. And the people, like I said, excuse me for being redundant, the people in place, people ready to fight, and we're gonna change this culture around it. And Davey don't have to change. Cresso don't have to change. But we're gonna force them to change. It's 44,000 of us. There's 8,000 of us in RTO. There's buses in all these divisions. If you want change, there can be change. It's on you. But we here, Progressive Action here, others are here, and change is coming. I'm running out things to say. Everybody be safe. Take care.